Have you ever watched The Shining and thought, wow, Jack Torrance really lost his mind? It's the classic take, right? A story of isolation, writer's block, and a man's descent into madness? But what if I told you that's just scratching the surface? What if the true horror of The Shining isn't about one man's sanity, but about something far more cosmic and terrifying? What if the Overlook Hotel itself is the main character, and it exists outside of time? Let's dive into one of the most compelling theories about Stanley Kubrick's masterpiece. Forget the simple ghost story. We're going to explore how the Overlook is a place where past, present, and future all bleed into one another, creating a horrifying, inescapable loop. First, let's look at the clues Kubrick masterfully sprinkles throughout the film. Remember when Ullman, the hotel manager, is giving Jack the tour? He mentions that the Overlook was built on an Indian burial ground. This isn't just a throwaway horror trope. Kubrick is immediately establishing that the hotel is built on a site of historical violence and tragedy. This history isn't just in the past, it's embedded in the very foundation of the place. Now, think about the ghosts. Are they just spirits haunting the halls? Or are they something more? When Jack goes to the gold room, he meets Lloyd, the bartender. Lloyd says Jack's money is no good there, adding, orders from the house. Later, Delbert Grady, the former caretaker, tells Jack, "You've always been the caretaker." These lines are crucial. You've always been the caretaker. How could that be? Jack has never been to the Overlook before. This is where the concept of time collapsing comes in. For the hotel, time is not linear, it's a circle. Jack isn't just becoming the new Grady. In a way, he is Grady, and Grady is him. They are all just different faces of the same role, a role the hotel requires to be filled, over and over again. The hotel absorbs people and their stories, making them a permanent part of its timeless, malevolent existence. Let's talk about Danny. His shining ability is what makes him so sensitive to the hotel's nature. He doesn't just see ghosts from the past, he sees visions of the future, like the elevator filled with blood. He also communicates with Tony, the little boy who lives in his mouth, who shows him these things. Tony represents Danny's future self, trying to warn his past self. This psychic connection across time is central to the film's logic. Danny can perceive the hotel's temporal sickness because he himself has a foot outside of linear time. The hotel's design is another massive clue. It's physically impossible. Film analysts have spent years mapping out the Overlook and found that it's a spatial paradox. There are windows and offices that should be deep inside the building, hallways that lead to nowhere, and doors that couldn't possibly exist where they are. Ullman's office, for example, has a window to the outside, yet its location on the hotel map shows it should be landlocked. This isn't a mistake by a meticulous director like Kubrick. He's telling us, visually, that the normal laws of physics and space don't apply here. The hotel's impossible geography mirrors its impossible timeline. It's a labyrinth designed not just to confuse its inhabitants physically, but to trap them. Now let's revisit the iconic moments. When Wendy finds Jack's manuscript, it's not a novel. It's endless pages of all work, and no play makes Jack a dull boy. This isn't just a sign of his madness. It's a manifestation of the hotel's repetitive, cyclical nature. He's trapped in a loop, performing the same meaningless task forever. The hotel has taken his ambition and creativity and twisted it into its own monotonous, eternal song. He is literally writing the hotel's story, not his own. The hedge maze is the perfect physical metaphor for this. It's a labyrinth where Jack becomes completely lost. At the end of the film, Danny escapes the maze by cleverly retracing his steps in the snow, breaking the pattern and fooling Jack. He uses logic to escape the irrational chaos. Jack, however, freezes to death, becoming a permanent part of the hotel's tragic history, just like Grady before him. Danny breaks the loop by looking backward to move forward, something Jack was unable to do. And that brings us to the most debated and revealing shot in the entire film, the final photograph. The camera slowly zooms in on a photo from the hotel's July 4th ball in 1921. And there, front and center, is Jack Torrance, smiling. How is this possible? This photo is the ultimate confirmation that the Overlook exists outside of time. The hotel has absorbed him. He hasn't just gone mad. He's been assimilated into the hotel's eternal present. He has always been there. The photo isn't a picture from the past in the way we understand it. It's a snapshot of the hotel's reality, where 1921 and 1980 exist simultaneously. Jack didn't travel back in time. The hotel simply brought its past, which is also its present, forward to claim him. So, what does this all mean? The Shining isn't a story about one man's psychological breakdown. It's a story about the overwhelming, crushing weight of history. The hotel is a machine that feeds on human tragedy, repeating it for eternity. The violence of the past, the slaughter of the Native Americans, the crimes of Grady is not gone. It's always happening at the Overlook. Jack Torrance was not a monster who was unleashed by isolation. He was a flawed man chosen by a monstrous place to play a role it had written long ago. The Overlook saw his weaknesses, his alcoholism, his temper, his frustration, and it exploited them to make him fit the part of the caretaker. This interpretation changes everything. The horror isn't that you might go crazy like Jack. The horror is that there are places and systems in the world so powerful and so steeped in past evils that they can literally consume you, making you a part of their never-ending cycle of violence. The Overlook Hotel is a symbol for this kind of historical trauma. It's a warning that, unless we confront and break the cycles of the past, we are doomed to repeat them, forever and ever and ever. So, next time you watch The Shining, don't just watch Jack. Watch the hotel. Listen to its whispers, trace its impossible corridors, and feel its timeless grasp. You'll realize the true terror isn't in a man's mind, but in a place where time itself has come undone. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more film analysis. Let me know your own theories about The Shining in the comments below. See you next time.